Hi Grace Kids, welcome to week 2 of talking about kindness this month, in the month of February. We have some exciting things to do today. First off, we're going to jump over to Mr. Mike. He's got some friends with him today, and yeah, we'll see what he has to say. So we're going to jump over to Miss Mike. Ready? Mr. Mike. Mr. Mike, we're going to jump over to Mr. Mike. Ready, set, go!
Thanks, Allie. All right, I'm here with our volunteers today. Introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Ben.
Hi, I'm Molly.
Hi, I'm Zoe.
All right, we got Ben, Molly, and Zoe, and we're going to have a little challenge. We have a goal set up on the other side of our volunteers here, and their job is to kick this ball through that goal without me blocking it. And I need you to cheer each other on like you've never cheered before.
Oh, I can do that.
All right, so we're going to set the ball down. I'm going to come over here. And what do you think? You think this is fair? I think this is fair.
This is not
You
fair.
think it needs to be bigger?
You got it. Yes.
A little bit? Okay,
big
move the
bit.
ball back a little bit. We'll make the goal a little bigger.
Oh, okay.
Is that better?
That is better.
Okay.
Do this. You know what? We'll try it.
Okay, we'll try it. Are we ready? Here we go.
Come on, Zoe, you got this. Let's go.
Better cheering.
Let's go, Zoe. Let's go.
All right, one stop for me. All right. Who's up next? Let's
Molly,
go.
you got this.
Yeah, Molly.
Oh, what the?
Can I do it? Can I going? Go, Molly.
No, you don't
Go,
go over my
Molly.
head.
Kick it like you better.
You're out.
Go, Ben. Go, Ben.
We got this. Here we go.
You
Hold
got
on. Hold on. I don't know if this is in camera or not, but we'll make the goal even bigger.
All right. Oh.
That looks like it is.
Over you. Okay, go,
I'm
Molly.
trying to get you.
Okay, well, can I ask a question?
How high can you go?
Yes.
We'll count that one. That one's a That's one for the kids. Whew.
Give me an M. M. No, stop me. Oh, yeah, give me an M. Give me an O. Oh, no.
Okay.
Give me an L.
L.
Give me another L.
L.
Give me a Y.
Y.
Molly. Go. Yeah.
That's two for them.
Hey, give me a B. Give me an E.
That was too high.
Oh,
Each, one more kick each. Let's go.
here's another point. You got this. Go.
How do I do a Z?
Give me a
Z.
Give me a Z.
Give me an O. Give me a, how do you kick that good?
Give me
You
an
got
S. M. Give me an O.
Oh.
Give me a B. Give me a.
All right. Woo.
You're
So you guys got how many through?
trash.
Two?
Three.
Three through? All right, 3 through is good. Let's give them a hand, everybody. Woo! And Allie, back to you.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for our participants in our game today. So last week we talked about the importance of kindness, like why kindness, why should we be kind? And we are kind because God was first kind to us. So one of the things that might be a little, here's where kindness probably is the hardest. And that's when it's people that are closest to us. Like it's not too difficult to be kind to someone that you've just met. Like you can say, hi, how are you? Or nice to meet you. And that's all you have to do. That's pretty easy to be kind. But the people that like we're closest to, like maybe our brother or sister that's like being super annoying, making lightsaber noises, or maybe it's mom or dad that we don't really feel like being kind to because they just asked us to do something that we don't want to do.
Ooh, maybe it's a co-host who just interrupts in the middle of nowhere.
Bye. Okay. Mr. Mike's just showing up out of nowhere. Okay, so sometimes people like that it's a little harder to be kind to. So today our story today is going to help us with like, hey, how do we be kind to people that we're with all the time? So we have, to help us with this, here's what we're going to do. The story that we are talking about today is recorded in the book of, and here's how I'm going to tell you what it is, okay? Cheerleaders are really fabulous at being encouraging. And so I have some cheerleaders with me today that are, you know how cheerleaders like hold up signs and they're like, give me a, you know, like go big red or something like that. So today I have cheerleaders. You might see their heads, but mostly you're just going to see their signs. So I'm going to say, give me an R. R. Cheerleaders.
R.
Give me a U.
U.
Give me a T.
T.
Give me an H.
H.
What's that spell?
Ruth.
Yay. Okay. Great job, cheerleaders. So our story today comes from the book of
Ruth.
Good job. Okay. So let's get to the story. We need to know the people in our story, right? Characters and settings are important. So the story starts, there is a girl in the story, and here's her name. Okay, so here's how it's gonna go. Give me an N.
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 Nice. Give me an O.
O.
Give me an A.
A.
Good job, cheerleaders. Give me an what comes next? M. Give me an N.
It's backwards.
M.
Give me an I.
I.
Okay, hold it up. What's that spell?
Naomi.
Okay, so our story today is about a lady named Naomi, and she was from the country of Israel, and she was married, and she had 2 sons. And what happened was she lived during a time when Israel was experiencing a famine, which means there's no food. There's not much food. And so they travel to another country called Moab, and there her 2 sons, they get married. Her sons they get married, and then here's what happens, is her husband, Naomi's husband, dies, and then really tragically, her 2 sons die as well. So she's left, she comes to this country of Moab because there's no food in the country where she's from Israel. And then she ends up losing her husband, and she ends up losing her 2 sons. And so here,
Miss Allie, this is really a sad story. Is it going to get better? I hope it gets better.
well, not yet.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So Naomi, her sons die and her husband dies. And then what happens is Naomi says, I'm going to go back to the country that I was from. I'm going to go back to Israel. And her daughters-in-law, so Ruth is one of her daughter-in-law, the one daughter-in-law that married one of her sons, nice job, cheerleaders, was Ruth. And then the other daughter-in-law, her name was Orpha. And we don't have cheerleader signs for Orpha, but the second daughter-in-law was named Orpha. And so they said, hey, we'll go back with you. And Ruth says, no, don't do that. You've been so kind to me. You don't need to come back with me to my country. You can stay there. And Orpha says, okay, I will stay. Orpha's not going to go with her mother-in-law, Naomi, back to Bethlehem in Israel. But Ruth says, hold on, I'm going to find it in the Bible. From the book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 16, Ruth tells Naomi, her mother-in-law, she says, don't make me leave you. Don't make me leave you. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. And so Ruth says, no, I'm not going to leave you. She's going to go back with Naomi. So that's what happens, is Ruth and Naomi, they travel back to Bethlehem. And remember, they still don't have, they've kind of lost their land and their place because they left originally when there was no food. So now we are, when they get settled there, Ruth says, hey, I will go find some food. And so here's where we're going to meet the next character in our story. Are you ready, cheerleaders? Okay, ready? So here's how cheers go, right? It's like, give me a B.
B.
Give me an O.
O.
Give me an A.
A.
Give me a Z.
Z.
What's that spell?
Boaz.
Nice job, okay? So Boaz is the next character here in our story. And Boaz is actually the owner of the field where Ruth goes that day to pick grain. That was what they did in that time period, was they, like, if you're really poor and didn't have a lot of food, you just kind of went along after the fields were harvested and you just picked up what was left over. And so that's what Ruth did. And she ended up, without knowing it, at the field of who? Go, cheerleaders.
Boaz!
It's totally backwards. Nice job. Okay, so they end up at the field of Boaz. And Boaz saw Ruth picking the grain, and he's like, he asked his workers, hey, who is that? Who is that woman? Who is she? You've got to be really kind to her. So if she's thirsty, give her water to drink, and make sure that you leave extra grain for her so that she has enough to provide for her and take back to Naomi. So Boaz shows kindness to Ruth. He's showing kindness to Ruth in how he's taking care of her when she's in his field. So here's what happens next is Naomi knows that Boaz is ultimately like a far off distant relative of hers, and he has the ability to redeem and help them in their situation and just not having enough food. So Naomi says, hey, Ruth, what you need to do is you need to go back to the field, and that's where you need to collect grain and harvest and pick up the leftovers. And Boaz is the one who can redeem you. And since it's Valentine's Day, it's a love story. Okay, so here's what happens is Boaz falls in love with Ruth. You should be cheering, cheerleaders.
Yay!
Okay,
It is a happy story.
it is a happy story. It's a love story on Valentine's Day. So Boaz says, of course I will marry you, but here's the thing. At the laws in that time in Israel, there was actually another man who was like first in line for the land that Naomi had, and he had the option to buy it back. So Boaz goes and he gets all the elders of the town together and says, hey, Ruth is here and Naomi, and if you'd like Naomi's land. And the man says, absolutely. And then Boaz says, by the way, you'll have to marry Ruth. And the other man says, I don't want to do that. And so he says, no, you can. So where's our cheerleader signs for Boaz? Hold on, the cheerleaders are getting ready. Who is this?
Boaz!
Boaz says, I will buy it all back. I'll buy the land. I'll marry Ruth. And happily ever after. So here's what happens is after Ruth and Boaz get married, are you getting ready for our next cheerleader signs? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, look at them. They're totally ready. That's awesome. Okay, so after Ruth and Boaz get married, then they have a son, and his name is, hold on, give me an O.
Oh!
Give me a B.
B.
Give me an E.
E.
Give me a D.
D.
What's that spell?
Obed.
Obed. Yeah. So Ruth and Boaz have a son, and his name is Obed. So which is, I don't know, have you ever heard of a baby named Obed? That's just kind of an interesting baby name. But that was like, Obed was a real person because, right, this is a true story from the Bible. So as we wrap up this love story on Valentine's Day and about showing kindness, because of Ruth's kindness to Naomi, they didn't have to face life alone. And then because of Boaz's kindness to Ruth, they were married. So as we talk and we finish up about kindness, remember, you'll see it here on the screen. Kindness says this: showing others they are valuable by how you treat them. One more time, it says, showing others they are valuable by how you treat them. So because of the kindness that Boaz showed to Ruth and that Ruth showed to Naomi, they showed each other that they were valuable by how they were treated. So as we wrap up today, we want to remember, here's our bottom line for this week. It says, we can be kind to our friends and family. You'll see it on the screen. It says, we can be kind to our friends and family, which, remember, is a little harder to do than just stranger on the street or the checker at the grocery store or the person you wave to on the highway in your car. Like, right there, it's really easy to smile and wave at those people, but it's much harder with the people that we live with every single day. So our bottom line this week is we can show kindness. We can, by the way we treat others, we can show that they're valuable by the way we treat our friends and family. All right, cheerleaders, thank you so much for your cheering. Do you want to just like, oh, you can wave. Oh,
Bye, guys.
thanks, cheerleaders. Okay, we're gonna pray as we wrap up. God, thank you for the story of Ruth and Boaz. Thank you for the love story on Valentine's Day. Thank you again for your kindness to us. Thank you that you give us all the strength that we need to show kindness to our friends and family, the people that we live with and are around all the time. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys, we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Grace kids, it's Chad. Now we are doing a verse, but my mom really likes to have really fun stuff on why we do verse, so 1 second. Okay, so I don't know if you can see my shirt, but it says kind of what?
Cool.
Kindness cool. We gotta get my Valentine's shirt on. So, this is the verse for this week.
From Colossians 3:12.
From Colossians 3:12.
You are God's
You are God's.
chosen people.
You are God's chosen people.
You are holy and dearly loved.
You are holy and dearly loved.
So put on tender mercy and kindness.
So put on tender mercy and kindness as if it was your own clothes.
Don't be
Don't be proud, but be patient.
Be gentle and
Be
patient.
God,
Hold on. Colossians 3:12. Okay, so let's start from the very top.
Okay, one more time. You'll see it on the screen. Please say it with us.
Colossians 3:12.
Colossians 3:12.
You are God's chosen people.
You are God's chosen people.
You are holy and dearly loved.
You are holy and dearly loved.
So put on tender mercy and kindness.
So put on tender mercy and kindness as if it was your clothes.
Don't be
proud.
be
patient and kind.
be gentle and
and kind.
patient. Be gentle and patient. Colossians
Yes.
3:12.